Happy 4th of July. This week of Independence Day, we're going to wonder about freedom. We're going to explore what Christian freedom is, why grace is important, and why Christians talk about it so much. Today is the perfect day to start this topic. Most of us are enjoying the weather and the lakes and Zorba's pizza and wearing America t-shirts and shooting off fireworks that keep my kids up way too late. Why? All in the name of freedom. We are celebrating freedom from the British to be our very own United States. And as Christ followers, we often talk about the freedom that we have in Jesus. So we are in a free nation and freed from sin and death because of God's love for us and through Jesus. But what does that even mean? I know when I get pulled over from speeding, I can't get out of a ticket because I'm freed by God's love. If I break any laws for that matter, I doubt that would get me anywhere in court or in jail. Really, the more I think about my life from the lens of freedom, I feel more and more a slave. A slave to technology, a slave to bills, a slave to judgment, a slave to my boss, Hans. Just kidding, Hans. Well, kind of. But really, what am I really free from? And looking at my life again, I am saved. I have been saved longer than I've been alive, but I don't really feel all that free. Not from the things I mentioned, and not from sin or from making mistakes even when I don't want to. I'm not free from any of my shortcomings. And then I look around at this free nation and this world. Christians are, or not, we have people who are living without homes. We have people who are harassed and murdered because of the color of their skin or because of who they choose to love or not. We, as free Christians, decide who's in and who is out. We have few people who can buy islands, states, or even countries, and so many people who can't even afford to feed themselves or their families. Does this feel like freedom to you? So as we launch this series, this is what I am thinking about. Freedom equals responsibility. My wife is going to hate this example as she has been terrified about fires since she was a very little kid. Sorry, Britta. Imagine that you wake up in the middle of the night because you hear an alarm and smell smoke. Your kids are in their bed sleeping. What do? You are free to do whatever you want. So you find a path out of your home to save yourself. Now you are free from the fire. Sounds good, right? No, not at all. You are free, but you have a responsibility to help free your family because freedom equals responsibility. My favorite line from the first Spider-Man is from Uncle Ben, who says, "With great power comes great responsibility." Power comes from the freedom we have, and with that comes great responsibility. So to me, Christian freedom really isn't about parades and wearing cross t-shirts or bragging about being free or living however we want to. Christian freedom creates an opportunity to make a difference in the world. The best example of this is Jesus. Of all the people in the world, you would think that Jesus would be the most free of them all, being God's Son. He could come down and zap all the people he didn't like and ride everywhere on clouds and turn water into wine. Do you know how often I would drink real water if I had that power? 0! Yet Jesus is born in a manger, lowest of the low, humbled himself, taught us to love our enemies, and goes one step further and dies for those enemies. Even as he's nailed to the cross, he is praying over his enemies in love, and he's praying for you and for me. That is what you do with real freedom. Let's look at some of the ways that responsibility is mentioned in the Bible. Psalm 82:3 says, "Defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed." Isaiah 1:17 says, "Learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow." And Micah 6:8 says, "He has told you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God." And then we go to Luke 11:42. Woe to you Pharisees, because you give God a tenth of your mint, rue, and all other kinds of garden herbs, but you neglect justice and the love of God. You should have practiced the latter without leaving the former undone. I think it's pretty clear. It's almost as if there is this heartbeat of justice, of our responsibility from the very beginning to the very end of the Bible. Jesus shows his humanity when he weeps for his friend, when he tells the little children to come in with all their noise and mess and snot and dirt. He heals the blind, he loves the lame and the outcast and the widow. To me, this is what freedom is all about. One of my favorite songs is called No Outsiders. The lyrics of the chorus are, there are no outsiders to your love. We are all welcome, there is grace enough. When I have wandered, Lord, your cross is the open door. There are no outsiders. I'm not an outsider to your love. To me, the greatest call of freedom and the greatest call as followers of Jesus is to make sure not one single person feels like an outsider to God's love. And we, my friends, are free to do just that. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a safe and blessed Independence Day. God bless.